So as we have already discussed what is a computer is basically an electronic device that takes input from the user, process the data and produce output in human understandable form. But a computer is basically divided into two parts. Number one is a software, and number two is a hardware. So what is a software and what is a hardware? A hardware is basically things that we can touch physically, that are present physically. For example, monitor, which is a part of computer, is a hardware itself because we can touch it, we can feel it physically. For example, a mouse, keyboard, etc. So these are the examples of hardware devices. Next is, what is a software? A software is something that we cannot touch or that is not present physically. For example, it is basically a collection of programs. Collection of programs that is not present physically. For example, any software that you install on your computer system, or the best example of a software is the operating system. We will discuss it in detail, what is an operating system, or VLC media player, or any kind of media player that you install in your system is an example of a software. See, VLC media player is not present physically in your system, you can only feel it, you can only use it. So these are the examples of software. So computer is basically consists of two parts, that is software and hardware. Software is a collection of programs and that is not present physically, you can only feel it. For example, operating system, VLC media player, etc. Okay. Hardware is that is present physically, that you can touch, for example, monitor, keyboard, mouse, speakers, etc. So in previous lecture we have covered the various classification of computers, in which we now have to focus upon our topic known as digital computer. We will be using digital computer, and best example of a digital computer is your personal computer or the computers that will going to be used in our labs. Okay? So now we will discuss about digital computer. Before that, let me tell you one more thing. A software is further divided into two categories. Number one is system software and number two is application software. These are the two types of a software. Number one is system software, number two is application software. Now what's the difference between system software and application software? System software is something that is mandatory to be present in your system and without which your system will not gonna work. For example, operating system. For example, Windows. Windows is a kind of operating system. If you do not have Windows in your computer system, then how you gonna use it? You cannot use your computer without with the help of Windows, which itself is an operating system. So operating system is an example of system software. So system software are those softwares without which our system will not work at all. These are mandatory to be present in the system. These are mandatory to be present. Next is application software. As the name implies itself, application software that is installed according to the according to the need of user. For example, any kind of game like PUBG or something. Next is for example, any media player. For example, any Photoshop editor, for example, Adobe Photoshop. So these are the examples of application software. If I do not install these software in my computer system, so क्या मेरा system काम नहीं करेगा? बिल्कुल करेगा. So these are installed according to the need of the user. But applicable system software are mandatory to be present in the system. So these are the two categories: system software and application software. Now we will be discussing about what is a digital computer. A digital computer. As I have told earlier, that a digital computer is basically used to perform various computational tasks. That is, if you want to perform any calculation or if you want to perform any kind of programming, for that purpose we will be using digital computer. And the example of digital computer is your personal computer or your laptop, on which you will be performing various tasks. So for now we will be discussing the digital computer in detail. What are the various components, what are the various parts of a digital computer. So I will be explaining it with the help of a block diagram. So a digital computer basically consists of four main parts. Number one is input devices, number two is output devices, third is the central processing unit, that is CPU, and fourth is the storage unit. So with the help of a block diagram, I can explain the digital computer as: first component is input device. Next is storage unit. Output device and CPU. So these are the four main components of a digital computer. How they are connected to each other? See, we feed data to this computer with the help of input device. The data that is called as the raw data. Data is any kind of information. Raw data, that means you haven't performed any kind of manipulation or any kind of calculation on this data till now. It is just a raw data, just a raw information. So you will provide this particular data to the computer system with the help of input devices. So what's the work of input device? Input devices are used to provide data to the computer system in computer understandable form. जो बात कंप्यूटर को समझ में आए, हम जो इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करेंगे वो यूजर अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर्म में होगी. उस डेटा को कंप्यूटर को समझाने के लिए कौन हेल्प करता है? Input devices. So input devices are the devices that are used to provide data to the computer system. And examples of input device. Examples of input device are keyboard, mouse, joystick, etc. These are the examples of a scanner. These are the devices through which we feed data to our computer system. Okay. So this data is further processed, is further stored in a computer system. So to store the data, we have a storage unit, a computer's memory, or we can say computer's memory. It further consists of two parts. Number one is primary memory, and number two is secondary memory. We will discuss in detail what is the primary memory and what is the secondary memory. So the data is stored in a storage memory. Now this data will be processed, and so you will be performing the computer itself will perform some calculations and manipulations and process the data, and CPU will help to process the data. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, and CPU further consists of two parts. Number one is ALU and number two is CU. ALU stands for Arithmetic Logical Unit and CU stands for Control Unit. We will discuss these two in details also. Next, first you input the data. The data gets stored in computer's memory. Then computer processes the data, and finally you will get the output with the help of output devices. So output devices की help से you will get the result. So what are the output devices? The devices which are used to provide result to the user in human understandable form. So what will be the examples of output devices? For example, printer, monitor, speakers, etc. So these are the examples of output devices. How all of the units are linked to each other? The input devices, okay. So this is the block diagram of a digital computer. Consists of four main components. Now we will discuss all of these components in detail. So first component is an input device. As I have told you, input device are used to take input from the user and are used to provide data to the computer system. Various examples of input devices are keyboard, mouse, joystick, scanner. Next is the output device, which are used to provide output to the user. For example, speakers or monitor, etc. Third part is the CPU, also known as brain of the computer, and stands for Central Processing Unit. Okay. So what's the work of CPU? It performs all the processing of the data, and CPU is further consists of two parts. Number one is ALU and number one is C. Okay. So ALU stands for Arithmetic Logical Unit, and CU stands for Control Unit. Now what is ALU and what is a CU? ALU is Arithmetic Logical Unit, which is used to perform all the arithmetic and logical calculations and manipulations on the data. Arithmetic calculations, for example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and logical calculations that we will be discussing in detail further. हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे उसको लॉजिकल कैलकुलेशंस क्या होते हैं. तो ALU का क्या काम होता है? इट परफॉर्म्स ऑल द लॉजिकल एंड अरिथमेटिक कैलकुलेशंस ऑन द डेटा, and ALU is responsible for performing all the arithmetic and logical calculations. And next part of the CPU is C, which is known as the control unit. If CPU is known as the brain of the computer, CU is also known as nervous system of the computer. Why so? because it manages the workflow between various peripheral devices of a computer system. Peripheral devices, that includes the input device, the output device and the CPU itself. Okay, so that is why it is also called as a control unit, because it controls the flow of work between various devices of a computer system. Okay, and CPU also consists of a third part known as CPU registers. Now, what is a CPU register? It is a form of memory in which you can store data of few MBs. MB stands for megabyte. कुछ MB का डेटा आप रजिस्टर में स्टोर कर सकते हो, but the disadvantage of CPU registers is its size, which is very less, and advantage is its speed. It is much faster as compared to other parts of the computer's memory. But we do not have any check whether the data will get stored in CPU register or not. So we can only request the CPU to store the particular data in a CPU register. Okay, so that is the disadvantage of CPU registers. So this is basically the third part of a digital computer, that is CPU, which consists of three parts: ALU, CU and registers. So fourth part of a digital computer is storage unit or memory. A computer's memory is basically divided into two parts. Number one is primary memory and number two is secondary memory. Primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory is also called as the main memory of the computer system. Why it is called so? Because CPU directly access the primary memory, that is the main memory of the computer system, to fetch data. Next is the secondary memory, which is also called as the auxiliary memory. Auxiliary memory. Now the primary memory is further divided into three categories. Number one is RAM. Number two is ROM. And third is the cache memory. So what's the difference between primary memory and secondary memory? The first difference is in the terms of size. The primary memory can be up to a few GBs, whereas the secondary memory can be up to few TBs, that is terabytes. Okay? So first we'll discuss in detail what is RAM, ROM and cache, and then secondary memory. What is RAM? RAM stands for Random Access Memory. That can be accessed randomly by the CPU, and CPU directly access the RAM. Read only. ROM stands for Read Only Memory. RAM is a volatile form of memory. Here volatile means once you switch off the system, all the data will get erased. Whereas ROM is non-volatile form of memory. That means in case of RAM, the data will store temporarily. Data will be stored temporarily permanent. So in case of RAM, we can store the data temporarily, कुछ time period के लिए ही आपका data store रहेगा. Whereas in case of ROM, we can store the data permanently. Fourth difference is in terms of size. RAM can be up to few GBs, whereas ROM can be up to few MBs. That's the main difference between these two. Also, we cannot perform any changes in case of ROM because it is read-only memory. It is not editable form of memory. However, there are various categories of ROM that are available in today's market that we can also edit them with the help of some programming or with the help of UV rays, etc. That we'll be discussing it in later in further details. And so main difference lies in the terms of the size of these two, RAM and ROM. Okay. And third is the cache memory. The cache memory is basically much closer to the CPU, and it is used for accessing the randomly accessed data. But again, the size of cache memory is much lesser as compared to the random access memory. So these are the three categories of primary memory: RAM, ROM and cache. Secondary memory, also called as auxiliary memory. Here we can store data up to few TBs, and it stores the data permanently. That is, we can store a large amount of data, bulky data, in the form of secondary memory. And various examples are, for example, pen drive, hard disk, CDs, etc. So these are the examples of secondary memory. So here we have discussed the four basic components of a digital computer. That is, number one is input device. Then we have discussed output device. Third is the central processing unit. And fourth is the storage unit or memory of a computer system. Now let us discuss the memory hierarchy of a computer system. So these are the various types of a computer's memory. Secondary memory, RAM, which is a part of primary memory, cache memory and CPU registers. So these are the basic levels of a memory of a computer system. So if I go from bottom to top, speed will increase. That means CPU registers will be the fastest in speed. Then cache memory, then RAM and then secondary memory. And if I go from top to bottom, size will increase. That means the maximum size of all these memories will be of secondary memory, which can be up to terabytes. RAM can be up to few GBs. Cache MBs and CPU registers MBs. So this is the memory hierarchy of a computer system, in which I have arranged the various types of memories according to their